The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let's get into this main event, fellas. In the middleweight division, we had Dricus Du Plessis defending that middleweight title and defeating Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. All three of us had DDP in this one. I didn't even write notes for this one. I'm just playing it off the air. Dominant win by DDP. I don't think Sean Strickland won a round. DDP didn't even use his wrestling. He just beat him in the striking department pretty much. And Sean Strickland looked kind of slow and tentative in there. Like he was kind of slow to kind of want to pull the trigger. And DDP just looked like the stronger fighter in there, the quicker fighter in there, and basically did what he wanted to do on the feet and was able to get all 5 rounds. I think he got all 5 rounds on 2 of the judges' cards, and he won 4 out of the 5 on the other judges' scorecard. What were your thoughts on this one, Meyer?
What a letdown. That's my thoughts on it. In the pre-fight presser, Sean Strickland doing his thing, talking stupid shit, talking about, oh, be a man, stand and bang with me, don't use your wrestling. Talking about this is going to be a war. I'm going to try to kill this man, and did nothing. Just absolutely nothing, man. I don't even think DDP looked great in the fight. He looked good enough to win. I mean, he outstruck him. He got him down one time. But I don't know, man. Strickland just talks too much for as little of entertainment that he puts out. Like, he talks like, he's McGregor in the early days, just knocking people out, but you ain't. Like, a guy that talks about wanting to kill people and knock people out, he's got so many decisions. I mean, he's not a bad fighter. He's got great defense. They said he takes less damage than most fighters, but his output somewhere has just completely slowed down. The Sean Strickland we seen the other night is not the same guy that fought Izzy.
That was probably the fight of his life, when the best performance we ever seen from him. And, some people just have those type of performance, like Buster Douglas and knocked out Mike Tyson. But I don't know. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Yeah, I think I even said in the last podcast to where he's too linear. It's either a jab, a right cross, or a teep kick. And, his arsenal is not that big, especially his DDP's. He's too much of a counter fighter, I'm guessing. And when you sit there and wait, you end up letting the rounds, pass by, or the other person getting more points based off of not more action. And of course, that's what Du Plessis was doing. Not enough action, and I think he needs to reconfigure his style or take more risks. Like I said, the only exciting thing in the fight that he ever had was with Izzy, and that had significant action when he cracked him. But other than that, I don't think we've seen him hurt somebody on that level to be confident in his striking, especially in this his 2 with Du Plessis. I mean, basically same fight, except DDP put it on the gas a little bit harder.
Yeah, I mean, definitely put it on the gas a little harder. I don't know. He's just got an awkward style. What were your thoughts on this one, Chris?
What happened in the first fight?
It was closer in the first fight.
It was closer.
It could go. It could have. I thought DDP won it 3-2, but a lot of people, especially his fanboys, were trying to vouch for Strickland winning. But I thought DDP edged him out in that first fight.
I would say one thing. Sean sold the fight, though, for sure. I was watching his highlights. I was watching him talk a lot of shit. I was like, oh, we got a good one coming. By the second round, I took my socks and threw them at the TV. Like, I was just so disappointed in him. Like, I thought he would be more aggressive. I thought he was just going to bring a different – I thought it would be a different type of action, the way he was talking before the fight. I thought that he was just going to come with some energy. I thought he was about to make this big old upset. He's going to become champion. And I was, me hearing, I was like, all right, here we go. We got a good fight ahead. Wasn't like that at all. Wasn't like that at all. Very disappointed. Socks hit the TV. I took my girl's socks off and hit the TV with those too. It was just what are we watching over here? Like, dude, don't talk shit ever again. That's how I felt like. And suppose he's a good fighter. I heard good things about him, but that night, this guy, I guess, got his number. You know, he lost twice to him. Wasn't even that convincing, like you guys said. He did outstrike him. Was punching him a lot. You know, you guys say he has the best defense, but he was getting touched to me. I saw him get touched a lot. That didn't look good defense to me. You know, supposedly, like you guys said, he was talking shit, you know, fight me, fight me. Well, he brought the fight to him and he didn't bring the fight back. That's how I saw it. So that's my take on it.
So they didn't waste a lot of time getting back to this match. I think Strickland had one fight in between. Who did he fight his last fight at, Meyer?
Oh, he fought my favorite guy, Paulo Costa.
Paulo Costa. He beat Paulo Costa in between and got to the second match.
And it was a split decision. He beat Paulo Costa with a split decision and got another title fight.
Yeah, so we know he's Dana White's boy, put him back in that position. But looking on the DDP side of things, I mean, he's not the prettiest of fighters, but is it time to stop kind of counting him out and like kind of giving him the credit that he deserves? But he keeps winning. He beat Izzy, beat Strickland twice now. What do you think about DDP's upside, Admire?
I mean, he's a great fighter. He's not great at one skill. He's just good at a lot of skills. I don't think you're going to see him at the top very long, man. I mean,
okay,
after what
we talk about that in a second. Once Steve, what do you think about his upside?
As far as where is he going after this fight?
Well, we know who he's probably going to face next, but do you see him as like the top of the, as far as like the greats of the middleweight division? You think he's up there as far as that goes? Because he's had a few defenses now. Like I said, he's not the prettiest of fighters, but he gets the job done.
Maybe so, but I don't think I've seen a skill set of a fighter yet that's been in the ring, which, one coming up is a question, but I think that's the fight to make to where see if his skill set is. I don't think he's fought somebody to test all areas to make it a dog fight and competitive. I think these fights are tough people he fought and beat on top caliber, but what's coming at him next, I mean, shit, that's the test right there.
Yeah. So talk about the elephant in the room. We all know who he's probably going to face next. He's going to face Khamzat Chimaev. I'm guessing that's probably going to be the end of his reign with this Chimaev fight.
Yeah, man. Like Chimaev, I mean, he's just going to have his way with him. And if for some reason it's not Chimaev, Imavov is up there that just took Izzy out. I mean, Imavov is very well-rounded as well. I think he's a little bit better in a couple of areas. So I'm not, saying that to put DDP down, but I just think that there's some really, really strong guys coming up in his path. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's the one to knock Chimaev off.
Why you hope that?
I like an underdog story. DDP is going to come into that fight probably a plus 400 underdog.
Wow, that's for a challenger to have that big of odds against. That's crazy. Steve, you think Chimaev is basically gonna wipe the floor with him?
I think so. He has enough, I think, firepower or power in his punches to, get some respect and, him worry about the takedown, which we haven't really seen anybody, test him on that. And I really think Chimaev will do that because we don't see devastating knockout power from Du Plessis, although he can, pack a punch. I don't think enough to take out somebody whose goal is to take you down and, and although Du Plessis has stamina, Chimaev, it's a matter of him he has stamina too, but can you just last a few rounds? You know, his dominancy of his wrestling. I think that's what he has to worry about.
Definitely. We saw what Chimaev did who he faced Robert the Reaper.
Bobby Knuckles.
Bobby Knuckles, and he shattered his jaw. So we know he gets down. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like if it were Sean Strickland that won, they probably would try to avoid facing Chimaev, but I guess we'll never know since he lost. But going back to the Sean Strickland side of things, we missed some stories going into this fight when we did the previous show. Like y'all said, he was talking big shit, saying ridiculous shit. I don't know how we missed the story where, like, I don't know why these guys give these outlets sound bites, because they even put his face on the Australian, whatever the biggest newspaper is, basically saying he was public enemy #1. But he was in the interview. They were asking him what's his least favorite race, and he was saying Chinese people are his least favorite race, and spewing nonsense and ridiculous stuff. And of course, Dana White's not going to punish him because that's not how Dana White works. But after this fight, seeing his antics and his fan base, do y'all think this will wear thin with his fan base, or do y'all think he still sells fights in the future with these ridiculous antics that he does? Or you think people wear thin of it? I'll start over you, Admire.
No, I don't think he loses any of his fan base. I think he keeps the same fan base. I don't think he's going to gain any, but you know, the people that like him because of the way he acts, I mean, it's not they're not going to run away for it. They're big fans of his for a reason. So, I mean, he's kind of like at this point like a Chael Sonnen, you know, always talking crazy shit, but now he's turning up losses.
Chael Sonnen was like witty with his and funny with his. He's just saying like absurd things just for like clickbait and like to rile up a certain fan base. I don't like. It's like it's cringe like Kobe. He's a little bit more like he'll say some fucked up shit, and then like I guess like 9 out of 10 of the quotes he'll actually say like that 10th time he actually say something that's kind of thought provoking, like, and then he'll go back to spewing his nonsense. Like he's like a weird guy.
Yeah, but I don't think it changes the fan base. I think that if anything, we'll see Sean Strickland probably say crazier shit to keep his name out there, because you just said, I don't know why he says that shit. This is exactly why we're talking about it. And I mean, we're just a couple guys talking shit and get like 30 views, but like it stays in the headlines with the major players too.
Chris?
I think he got to keep talking shit. That's what he sells fight tech. That's why I was watching the fight. I was like, oh, he about to knock this dude out. Like, oh, shit, there we go. We got a good fight ahead of us. And you got the fans now that he talks shit about your coach or he talks shit about you. He brings those fans in, even though he talks shit about you. You want to see him lose.
Mm-hmm.
So you already go against him. So now I think he even has more fans to him, because now you got the fans that want to see him lose. Even though they're not a fan of him, they're a fan of the fight. So Dana's not going to stop that. Why? That's bringing more attention. Oh, he said this. Those are clickbait shit, and that's going to bring more attention. And now you got the two fans. Instead of like, no, I'm going for him. Now you got the fans that want to see him lose, and then you got the fans that want to see him win. So his fans are going to always be there, but then you got the new ones coming to see him get knocked out, see him lose. So I think it's good. Keep talking shit. I love it.
Steve?
I agree with both of those, but I feel like if you have that equation, you better make sure you put some highlights or some wins in between that shit talking, or else you're becoming like a fly in the room. Like, you know, sort of like how we kind of look at Conor McGregor, you know, saying something and you're not even in contention or even playing it or in the, you know, league fighting right now. So you kind of get annoyed of him. I don't think he's at that point yet. He's still kind of warm from events. But I say if he has a devastating knockout himself or lose or get on a losing streak, that formula turns on the person real quick. But like I said, if you get some wins, that, you know, shit talking is entertaining.
So does he just have like a fan base admirer that just follow him no matter how terrible he does he have like a Nick Diaz type or Nate Diaz type of following? Because like if I'm following you and you're talking all this, but you don't even at least Diaz is they got a kind of exciting style, but like if I'm a fan, like why am I even following you if you're fighting like these conservative fights? Just I'm basically following you just for the things you say outside the cage. That's a weird type of fan base if you think about it.
It is. I mean, it's almost kind of like our political climate. You know, you have people following, you know, people relate to him. You know, he claims to be this blue collar everyman. So everybody jumped on that. And then he spoke about, you know, some of his childhood stuff and people latched onto that. Like there's a lot of different reasons that people feel like they can relate to him. So that's how he got the fans. And it is kind of a Diaz thing. Like, yeah, he's probably going to keep losing, but he's going to have these diehards that are ride or die for him.
That's stands are weird to me, but you know, like you said, they attach on to something and you know they ride or die with that. And, you know, it's interesting because like they're getting paid from these people. Like I'm a fan of the sport, but I wouldn't be a stan. Like if I see somebody just saying ridiculous stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm cool on it. Like almost like a Kanye. Look at the crazy stuff he's been saying. Like I'm cool on Kanye. I don't really need to follow him like that.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. I mean, it really is. Like Kanye's doing worse shit, of course, but like it's kind of in the same ballpark. Like just talking ridiculous shit to keep eyes on him, and you have the diehard fans that'll stick by it. It's just like fucking Chris Brown. You know, he should not be famous at all right now, but he's got diehard fans that no matter what he does, they're there.
Yeah, fandom is an interesting topic to talk about, but going back to the NK stuff, at least, like, where does Sean Strickland even go from here? I don't know if you got the rankings in front of you. I mean, knowing how Dana White is, he probably will put him back in the title fight after winning one fight, especially if Hamzat wins. Like, do you have the rankings in front of you, Amar?
Yeah, so number one, you got Imavov. Strickland is number two now. Chimaev 3. Not even going to think about him fighting Strickland. You got Izzy at 4. I could see them running back the Izzy fight the way that went down. And it, you know, Izzy took his first really bad loss. Well, no, not his first really bad, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, it was a dominant win for Strickland. They both lost the other night or in the last week, so I don't see why you wouldn't want to run that back. Izzy needs the win to get back in the win column, but also get that win back from Strickland. That fight makes the most sense to me. You got Robert Whitaker at number 5, Barallo at 6, Cannonier at 7, Vettori at 8. I'm with the Izzy fight. The only other fight I want to see would probably never happen, but I guarantee you it would be the biggest card of the year. I want to see Sean Strickland versus Colby Covington.
Who you thought on that one? Chris, would you be interested in seeing Izzy Adesanya versus Strickland again?
I didn't see the first one, so it'll be my first time watching him fight. Again, I just want to see a good fight. If he's going to show me what he showed this weekend, then I don't want to see him fight again. I told you I was throwing socks at the screen, so I don't want to see nothing like that with all that mouth. But he got to show me something. I mean, I pictured him. I've seen his face before, so I'm thinking he's a good fighter. And I hear he's a good fighter, but I don't know if he just got his number pulled by this guy. He doesn't know how to beat him. I think this might be too much of a matchup for him. Maybe he's a better matchup for other fighters, but what I saw, like, he just was on his back foot. It didn't seem like he was being aggressive, the person that I thought he would be. So if he can be more aggressive, I'll let to see any fight. I could be one of his fans because I like the shit talking. I like the energy he brings. I just want to see it in the ring. So if he could bring some of that in the ring, then he can fight anybody. I think he will have that Nate, the Diaz brothers type of fan base that you would see.
So at my Colby Covington and Sean Strickland used to be a welterweight. You think Colby would come up to 185 to face him, if that were even a realm of possibility?
Yeah, I think it would be Colby Covington going up. He's getting a little bit older. You know, it wouldn't be. I bet his walk around weight's probably like 190, 195. So he'd be real comfortable at 185. And I mean, just the shit talk between those two would be insane. I mean, it like I said, it would be the biggest card of the year. It would sell the most pay-per-views.
I don't know if that'd be a main event. Like if it were the co-main event, just
Yeah.
because I think a lot of luster is off of Kobe. I think Sean Strickland still has. I think a lot of Kobe's fans have like left his side. He doesn't have that diehard like Sean Strickland because he can't talk as well.
But Colby just went through the same thing though. Like he talks all that crazy shit and loses. So I mean, they both are like the same person in welterweight and middleweight. So why not match them up? Why not have them open? You know, be the first on the main card of the International Fight Week card.
Ooh, yeah, that was a lot. If they were like the curtain jerker of International Fight Week, yeah. If you were to say Sean Strickland's next opponent, the most probable one, what would you say, Steve?
I would say Izzy.
Izzy? Run that back, huh? Both y'all are on it. Okay. Well, how come?
Well, I think it makes sense. They both lost. It aligns back to, you can solidify a person that you can slay a previous champion, make him retire, so to speak. You can promote as that. And I think for Izzy, even he was promoting in this fight, how he said, which I think he sort of fake pumped himself up, but, having a reason to fight. You got somebody that beat you, Pierre, he got motivated to get the win back. So I think the Strickland fight would be, a better outcome of strategic plan because he got caught that first fight.
Yeah, and then he wasn't really the same after that. He didn't really shake it off and lost that fight decisively. But who's Imavov? He's number 2. I think they're gonna go Chimaev with the title fight DDP. Like, damn, so if you're Imavov, you just sit? We all see that could bite you in the ass if you sit sometimes, especially if you're not like a big name. Imavov is good, but he's not. He did get the boost off the Izzy fight, but he's not like a household name. Is that smart of him just to sit?
I would, if I was him, I would sit. He's already beat like the who's who in the middleweight division. I mean, Imavov has beat Izzy, Brendan Allen, Cannonier, Dodies, Buckley. Like he's fought all those guys up there. Why risk your number 1 spot? Probably running it back with somebody. I could, nothing's beyond Dana White. Dana White might have mercy on Strickland and give him a number 1 contender fight against him because Strickland did beat him once already.
I think Imavov stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, if say DDP comes back fast, that fight probably won't happen until like summer against Chimaev, maybe International Fight Week. So, and if he doesn't take a lot of damage and he doesn't get injured, earliest would be November winter for the Imavov to be waiting. That's a long time to be sitting. So, like you said, I don't know if that makes sense running back the Strickland fight. That's an option, I guess. Who's number 4 is Izzy, 3 is Izzy, or 4 is Izzy? What about the Whitaker? Is Imavov faced Whitaker yet?
Imavov has not fought Whitaker. That was the next thing I was going to say is you could match them 2 up, but I think Robert Whitaker's like been on a 2-fight losing streak, I think.
Yeah, Bobby Knuckles. He just got it. I think the last time he was in there is when Chimaev cracked his jaw.
Let's just double check that. No, he's only on a 1-fight loss. Yeah, it was Chimaev. He had a couple wins before that. He lost to DDP. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think that's fair either. Taking Robert Whitaker at 5 and giving him a number 1 contender fight coming off of a loss, you can't really do that. It doesn't really make sense.
So I doubt this will happen. That's crazy. I guess because Izzy was ranked so high. I don't know what Imavov's spot was before the Izzy fight. What if they just went? They want DDP to maybe defend the title one more time before the Chimaev fight. What if they go DDP and Evolve next?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I could see them doing that just to keep Kazmat away from the title because he's going to get it eventually. But then you're going to have all these guys from like the same crew holding half the belts. I don't know if the UFC wants a monopoly on their belts from a country, but I could see them doing it. But then what do you do with Chimaev? You know, you're going to sit him on the sideline for a while. You're going to make him.
Have him fight Strickland just for shits and giggles.
That I don't think Dana's that mean to do that to Strickland.
Yeah, I think Strickland is boy. He'll probably try to avoid that as much as he can, unless it's a title fight. I mean, but if you somebody's gonna have to sit, which is unfortunate. Oh well, I think it'd be more likely for Chimaev to take a fight and not to sit if they were to make the next one Evolve and DDP, and they could put him up against. I don't think anybody would be clamoring to take that fight if it was Strickland or Izzy, and we just saw what happened to Whitaker. So I don't know. I guess we have to see how things shake out, but it's some options that they have at the middleweight division. Thank you for checking out this Haymaker Combat Sports segment. This full episode could be found on the Haymaker Combat Sports YouTube page and in audio form on all major podcast platforms. Until next time, peace.